What if the loudest voice in the room isn't the one leading, but the one hiding? In this video, we're going to be diving into the 31st pattern of evolutionary change, where the fear of being wrong keeps us from stepping up, and the need to be right keeps us from letting go. We'll be exploring this not for answers, but as doorways into our deepest potential today. In this video, I'll be going through the 31st challenge, a challenge woven through our history, our bodies, and our spirit. Not a lesson, not a cure, just an understanding. Let's begin where all wisdom does, with the story. The parable of the speaker of stones. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. Once in a village surrounded by cliffs, there lived a young man named Nalan. His voice was like thunder wrapped in silk. People listened when he spoke. As a child, he was praised, adored, followed. But as he grew older, something changed. Nalan began to feel a strange pressure. The more he was seen, the more he feared being wrong. Every word carried weight, and every silence made him feel invisible. So he crafted his speech carefully, every sentence calculated to sound wise. He hid his doubts beneath charisma. He spoke to be heard, not to understand. One day, a drought struck the land. The crops failed. The people turned to Nalan. Tell us what to do. And for the first time, he didn't know. His fear whispered, say something powerful. Lead them, even if it's wrong. But something inside him said, be still. He climbed the cliffs and sat there for 3 days in silence, listening not to the wind, but to his own heartbeat. When he returned, he didn't bring commands. He brought a bowl of water and offered it to a child. Start with care, he said. We don't need a savior, we need each other. From that day on, Nalan spoke less, but when he did, the village moved. Not because he commanded, but because he connected. This 31st evolutionary pattern and challenge of change speaks to the deeply human dilemma of influence, the desire to lead, the fear of being wrong, the craving to be seen, and the urge to stay hidden. In this challenge lies the shadow of arrogance, but not just the loud kind. Arrogance also hides in silent ways. It says, they won't understand me, or I'll just do it myself. There are two faces to this: the false humility, where we suppress our voice out of fear of judgment, and then the reactive, with scornful superiority, where we use our voice to dominate, to prove. Either way, the energy is the same fear: the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of rejection, the fear of leadership itself. But why does this fear exist? Because in this evolutionary challenge lies the codes for a powerful frequency in our DNA, the ability to influence others through voice, presence, and clarity. That power, left unconscious, becomes distorted. Arrogance is not an accident. It is a protective mechanism guarding a sacred function, the potential to lead with humility, clarity, and grace. The complementary shadow to arrogance is the shadow of fantasy and its fear of becoming or of being disappointed, as well as its repressive nature of becoming dreamy and or reactive by being hyperactive. As you can tell, these two feed off each other so that one can always feel like they're more inclined to become deluded with some sort of fantasy where they become some sort of savior for the rest of the people around them, or they repress themselves into submission and deferring to others, saying that they're right when really they're just going to do their own thing on the side anyway, dreaming that what they accomplish will eventually be recognized by other people. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign. So you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7 because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. The physical and spiritual evolutionary context of this challenge. From an evolutionary lens, this 31st pattern of change reflects an ancient tribal dynamic. Who leads the group? Who makes the call? This dynamic still lives in our nervous system. It's why our body tenses before public speaking. It's why we sometimes hesitate to share our ideas, even when they're clear. The leadership wound is evolutionary, but evolution is not just physical, it's spiritual. The 31st pattern of evolutionary change sits at a crossroads of the throat and the heart, where communication becomes communion, where egoic speech gives way to inspired expression. It asks us, will you speak to control or to connect? Will your leadership rise from fear or from your presence? When we lead from fear, we fragment the field. When we lead from love, we unify it. And this is what makes this specific challenge so critical during times of collective transition, why this shadow exists and what lies beyond. We are not meant to bypass the shadow. Arrogance arises for a reason. It is the tension between knowing you carry something valuable and fearing the consequences of sharing it. And so we create a persona, we withhold, or we overextend. But beneath that tension is a hidden truth. Every voice that rises from love is leadership. Every silence that holds space is leadership. The shadow isn't here to be judged. It's here to be integrated. It's not that you shouldn't want to be heard. It's that you don't need to control how others hear you. Humility is not the absence of leadership. It is the essence of it. Integrating the grace of humility at the end of this path. In every evolutionary challenge, there carries a gift. And for the 31st, that gift is leadership, not through power, but through presence. And beyond even that lies the ascended grace, a spiritual flowering, the ascended grace of humility. This is not self-denial. It is a type of selflessness. It is leadership so pure that it disappears into the group, while holding the group together with love. In this state, there is no desire to lead, and yet one's presence guides others home. No need to be seen, yet your voice echoes with truth. In this level, your grace leads through you. So if this 31st pattern of change lives in your chart, or if it lives in someone you love, don't rush to fix it. Sit with it, watch it, and feel it. Because this isn't about fixing arrogance, it's about discovering the humility hidden inside one's desire to serve. And if one follows that thread long enough, one may just find that leadership isn't something you do, it's something you become by listening. Thank you for watching. If this resonated, please like and subscribe and stay with this channel because we'll be going deeper into other patterns of evolution so the soul can express itself through full self-realization. Down below in the description, you'll find more about this shadow. You'll also find links on how to contact or get a hold of me through email. Through my website links, you'll learn more about me, how I do what I do, and why I do it. You'll also find links to support groups for these divination systems such as human design and the gene keys. There you'll learn more about the shadows and the evolutionary process through them. The next group is the Emotional Intelligence and Mastery group, where you learn more about the emotions and how to use them effectively for win-win benevolent outcomes, as opposed to not being able to process them effectively, using them to feed the shadow patterns that keep you stuck in a state of traumatic response. And the last one is Emotional Trauma Release Group, where you learn about processes and the means to release unresolved emotional energy that over time can traumatize the energy body that governs your physical body. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this journey with you. God bless you on this journey. Namaste and good life to you all.